Hi people, my name is Sako, they call me the Compare with Vimo. I want to wish you a very, very happy new year. It's the year 2024 and I've been teaching on YouTube, on all my platforms on how to be an effective master of ceremonies. As you know, I grew up learning from mentors and role models, and my job this year in 2024, as ever before, is to give back and be a blessing. If you follow me very well on YouTube or you've seen, and which obviously we have over 30,000 people that have subscribed and that has watched the video back to back, and every time I go anywhere, I still receive messages till date of how effective the video that I put out. But you know, as we grow in the business, there are some things that will go, there's something that will stay, there's some things that needs to move. So this year, I'm starting on another note, which is the general, it happens every day. We have over 100 to 1,000 weddings that go on in Lagos alone, not talk about in other states or other countries. And I will be teaching today on how to host a wedding in 2024. I know you've seen my video, but this time I need you to please listen and don't begin to criticize. It is for your own good. Remember I said in 2019 or 2018 when I shot the first video on how to host weddings, I said to you that you do not start a wedding if you don't see the couple. If you don't see the couple outside, make sure that the couple is outside. Even if the event planner tells you start, you need to be sure, you need to speak to the event planner to know how many minutes they are. Because it's not a comedy show. They're not coming to see the master of ceremony, they're coming to see the couple. People do not know you. Yes, it's good to sell your market, but at the same time, I say to you, it's advisable, except you have strong comedy and then you want to do. But at the same time, it's not a comedy show. They're not there to see you. They're there to see the couple. They're there to appreciate the families of the parents of the bride, the parents of the groom. Because some people do not even know their parents, but because of the relationship that they have with them through the years, they've come to celebrate their friends, their colleagues on the day of their child's wedding. So you make sure that you have at least, they're 5 minutes away, they are 2 minutes away. You must communicate with them. Now I've come back to say, yes, I said it. I stand on what I say. But I'm saying while you're waiting for the bride and groom, it's very effective. And let me put it out to you. It's your first time you're anchoring a wedding. You need to sit down and be calm. It is natural to be tensed when you want to host an event. I still feel tense every time I host an event, but you know, as a child of God, as a Christian, I always pray. It's important that you pray. God is the one that gives you the gift. You never even imagined that you could host weddings. So calm down, always calm down, and get more details about the wedding. It's important. Get more details. If you need to go for vendors meeting, go for vendors meeting. Find out the name, the pronunciation of the surname of the couple, of the parents of the bride, the parents of the groom. It's very, very important. You must not take that for granted. If you can't pronounce the name, because there are some names that are very, very difficult to pronounce, it's either you speak to a member of the family from the bride and groom to please help you pronounce it and basically learn it. That's important. As one of you should be able to pronounce people's name. So, like I said, how to host a wedding in 2024 while you're waiting for the bride and groom. And let me let you know that beyond waiting for the bride and groom, some bride and groom will come on time, but they wait for you at the middle of the event where they go change. I'm sure someone knows what I'm talking about. While you're waiting for the bride and groom, it's important that you go address the audience when you see that they've exceeded like 30 minutes where the hall is already getting rowdy, people are expecting. Because in this part of the world, in Lagos, in Nigeria, some people do not serve the couple, they do not serve the audience until they see that the host themselves is around. But at some other wedding, they'll say, you know what, as people come in, start feeding them, start giving them food. And if you do not manage that part very well, you might be in trouble, serious trouble. So the first thing you should do is first go and confirm if it's a DJ or the band, liaise with them, greet them well. Remember, I've taught you about how to relate with them. Relate well with them. If you need, sometimes you might need to get some tips like 1,000, 2,000 and give to the sound engineer, because my sister, my brother, it's important that your sound comes out very well. You see that 2,000, 1,000. Someone say, are you bribing? Yeah, it's their job. Well, in developed countries, you don't have to bribe, give anybody any money, but it's also important that you tip. It's important. It's not compulsory, okay? But for your job to come out well, for your sound to reach the back, you need to settle the man at the gate. Remember, this is not bribe, this is tip. You are giving the person, he did not ask for it. There are people that will tell you, give us something. But the ones, as long as they didn't ask for it, give them and say, bros, just use this one to buy a recharge card. I promise you, even everyone will hear your voice. Once you start, introduce yourself.
First thing you need to do before you welcome everyone as a master of ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all. Tell them this.
Make sure this year, 2024, people must know your name. It's important. People remember you, but they do not remember your name. It's important that you mention your name, mention your first name and your surname, and mention your brand name. My name is Ayodele Okundalaye, but they call me the company resource of Saco International. You must emphasize your name. I know somebody say it's not about you, but it's important because people will say, oh, I remember that guy. Who was that guy? You might not remember him because there are a lot of us in the industry. Address them and welcome them and say on behalf of the Oderinde family and their Jawu family, I'd like to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us from different parts of the world. We celebrate you. Bam, 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 bam. You know your lines. You should have rehearsed your line. You should have written your lines. If you have Obas there, it's important that you know the order of protocols.
Start by welcoming everybody and welcome on behalf of the Odutola family and the Anima Sharon family. I'd like to say thank you. That's example. Let them know. You have to appreciate them on behalf of the families, two families that have become one today.
Our protocol is very, very important at weddings, even at corporate, other protocols, even at corporate events. But you know, I'm going to invite one of my senior boss, Sir Richmond Osuji. Stop me. Sir Richmond Osuji and my big sis, Joyce Daniels, will talk about the order of protocol. That will be a story for another day. You need to know that one and get ready to begin to. But for social events, it's just do the general ones because you can't begin to mention names except there are particular obas that you want, like the Oni of Ife. When it comes, it needs to be recognized. You need to know all those things, how it's being pronounced, how his name is being called. It's important. Someone say it doesn't concern me. It will concern you when you get to that point. When you don't have any job, this year is a year of personal development. If you want to get to that level where you begin to earn the amount that you're trusting God for, you need to move. You need to get ready because people observe you. They see the way you handle pressure. It's important. You come, recognize yourself, and introduce yourself and say, I will be the host of today's event. Just to let you know that the bride and groom will soon join us. But at the meantime, we have enough to eat, enough to drink. Let's settle down. There's enough. Let them know there's enough to eat. If you have games, if you have things you want to do to engage them, if it's going to be, who knows the lyrics of this song, start. Remember I said to you, don't start anything. But if you have those things, that's why you need to work on yourself. Make sure that you have something to engage them. Sometimes you could be a seed and say, look for the oldest couple in the audience and say, I'd like to know the oldest couple in the audience. Take the mic. I pray that you have wireless mic to go into the audience to engage them. You see that period when you are doing engage, because sometimes some people do not even stay to the end. That period where you engage them, some people, there's a possibility that almost 10% or 5% of the audience might leave at that beginning, especially when you have somewhere where they're going to. If they came all the way from Ondo State or they came all the way from Ondo State or anywhere, they want to leave. They want to leave. So at the beginning, it's important that you showcase yourself. You talk about, engage the audience. They will not forget you. Somebody amongst that 5% that left will remember you and say, this guy engaged us while we were waiting for the couple. When the couple come, remember, you would have gotten the name of who takes the opening prayer, but the couple will come in first. Remember I said with you, the couple comes in first. Once the couple comes in, you take the opening prayer. After opening prayer, you do the chairman's opening remark. The chairman's opening remark. You must, and for every wedding, it's not compulsory that you have the chairman. You must ask, you must not impose chairman on anybody, but ask, do you have a chairperson? Find out a little profile about how related he is to the bride or the groom's family. How long they be friends? Sometimes, most times from experience, the chairman usually comes from the bride's family, or it comes from people that the bride and groom nominated. It could be their mentor, it could be their role model. Ask them how close is he to them. So when you're introducing them, you are introducing them based on what you've heard from the bride's family or from the groom's family. Oh, they were classmates. I've seen a chairman that was classmates with the father of the bride for 40 years. They went to the same school. They were flatmates. They were roommates. And today, 40 years after, he's sitting by his friend that has now become a brother. It's important. When you're during that introduction, you need to see the face of the bride and the bride's parents to see how much they're excited, how you introduce. It's important. Do your research. Don't take any event for granted, because for every time you do an event well, it gives you the ability of having 1 to 20 events. Some of them will come immediately. Some of them will come a few weeks after. Some of them will come years after. There was a wedding I was supposed to do in September, but because of I was in the country. The lady said she saw me in Ife in the 2010, 2011. And she said any day she's going to get married, I'll be the one to host that event. Years after, she reached out. Don't take any event for granted. And guess what? That job that I did in Ife, they didn't pay me like they should pay me. Probably like 30,000 they gave me, but I did the job well. Don't take any job for granted. Most of the events that I've done outside the country came from a almost free event, or the wedding you call rowdy event is important. And for them to have paid you, to be in charge. Remember, once you do the chairman's opening remark. Now, my emphasis right now, usually we take toast at the end, right? So that we'll get the response. It's important that you need to check the audience, because there are some audience that when you start the wedding, by 4 p.m., the audience would, so most of them would have left. I hosted the wedding in Ilorin, and by 4 p.m., people are left. In Lagos, we are still balling till 6 p.m., even to 7 p.m. And guess what? I've hosted wedding in America, where the wedding just starts from 7 p.m. That's when the wedding reception starts. Even in Canada, the wedding reception starts. Well, I hosted the wedding in Halifax on the 18th of, and it started in the afternoon. So it varies. So you need to know the time that people will be willing to stay. When you notice that a wedding that you'll be hosting, people will be leaving on time, and you want to feel the effect, it's important that you take the toast at the beginning. After the chairman's remark, I said, you know what? So we can take all the speech out of the way. And most times when you wait till the end before, is that by the time you're proposing the toast, the drinks will have finished. So it's important that when you have the chairman's opening remark, probably do the cutting of the cake, either before the cutting of the cake or before. It could be at this middle. And then you take the toast. I said, I'd like to invite. I remember I shared with you that to propose the toast, we have one person from the groom's family, from the groom's friends, and one person from the bride's friends. It's not compulsory, because most times the groom might not have enough friends, the bride might not have enough friends to come talk about them. It could be that somebody connected them. Find out how they met. This is what you need to do research. How did you meet? How he was a friend. Is that friend going to be around? It's important that you get that friend to propose a toast. And also, if you follow my YouTube channel very well, you know that it's important that you have conversations with the person proposing the toast. I don't know if I've shared the story of a guy that was going to propose a toast, and it was a flamboyant wedding. And the guy, this was a wedding I hosted, and he said, I was the one actually dating. This was supposed to be the brother of the groom. He said I was actually the one dating the lady, but I could not handle her. I'm glad that my brother made the decision, proposing a toast. Now you see how embarrassed you were. It was embarrassing. I saw another toast. I told the guy he was going to propose a toast, and he openly said at the wedding reception that I'm sure this secret I'm about to throw right now, most people do not know. And I will say, what secret? The wedding reception. And he said, the day you met your wife, I was actually toasting her. You see why I wanted to propose the toast, that alcohol can be a great influence. And when he said that, it was like, see, the ground should just open for him to. I'm sure years later, he will still be asking, why did he make that statement? Because there was no need for him. Even if he was toasting, he didn't have to mention it. So that people do not embarrass you. So you don't get embarrassed. You can bring the toast at the beginning, after the chairman's remark, and say, you know what, come propose the toast. Get a feedback from who is coming from the bride's side and who is speaking. The person that will speak first, the second person, it could be a friend, friend of the groom, and say, well, how long have you known them? And say, propose the toast. And then everybody stands up. Remember that when the toast is being rendered or being said, the bride and groom will be seated. Once that is done, fire your games. You know the games. You look for games that is not offensive. Gone are those days where games were not allowed, but right now, games, people are ready to have fun. So please get ready to get games that will not embarrass anybody. People do games with the couple's friend, they do games with the father of the bride, father of the groom, and they enjoy. You must also watch out for the father-daughter dance. You must note from experience, not all fathers took care of their children. This is not our fault. But if you're not careful, you bear the blunt, or you bear the body or trouble there. So you need to ask the bride and groom, will you like to dance with your father? The groom, will you like to dance with your mother? Because some mothers also, were not there at the point, and the guy still feel odd from that, and you don't want to get in between while the guy is recovering. You don't want to remember. So you need to ask, would you like to dance with your father? If the person says no, I want to dance with my mom, respect them. Respect them. I was at the wedding last year, and the father of the groom was there. The guy danced with his mom, and it was time for the guy to dance, the lady to dance with her father. The lady said no. The mother of the bride of the groom told her to dance. I said, I'm sorry, ma, respectfully, ma, I'm not going to dance with my dad. She danced with her mom. As a master of ceremony, I had to look for a way to say, you know what, let all the other families come and dance, because man was not sitting down. I want to talk to fathers. No matter what happens in between your wife and you, be in your children's life. I don't know why I'm saying this. This is not what I plan to say. But be in your children's life. Mother is you. You know, now you see all the things happening between Mohbad and his parents. Would have been avoided. I don't know how I got here, but I just want to remind you, you are young, you have an issue with your wife. In spite of it, as God tries to intervene, please take care of your children. Don't leave the space of your children. Be in charge. I mean, be there for them. No matter what happens in the marriage, even if it doesn't go on, be in charge, because I've seen parents weep at weddings. I've seen children embarrass their parents because they were not there. While they are blaming their spouse, they affected the child. Let's go on. I don't know how I got here. So we do the cutting on the cake, we do games. Remember, you must find out games that work. Find out the games that work. I am very, very, very careful about games. Don't embarrass anybody. People even do the scavenger game. I'm sure you're wondering. Scavenger game where you sit down and go into the audience and get beautiful. I did that in Dubai. Awesome. My friend did that in Dubai. I hosted and then he hosted with me. Awesome. You must find what works. That's why it's important that you ask the couple, do you like games? Do you want us to play games? Let me know. You want to do the couples game where they back each other. Sometimes they do couples game where they back each other. Sometimes some parents will say they do not want that. How would you be backing? You know, some people take the spiritual way and say, how can they be backing themselves on the first day of their wedding? They don't have to back themselves actually. They can actually sit. The groom can sit here while the bride can sit here, and then ask the friends. That's where you bring the friends to come stay at the back and ask questions. Who is more romantic? And that's where the groom will move, the groom's friends will move. It's important. That's another way to improvise, okay? Where the audience is engaged. All right? You do the couples game, you do the couples dance, you do different things. And toss it on the bouquet. I started doing something a few years ago, I think in 2010, tossing on the bouquet, you know, and it became popular recently where I began to matchmake. I've always been doing that. I used to use myself before I got married. I said I was the one that the lady saw when she called the bouquet, and you know, but as I got married, I had to stop doing it because when I do that, sometimes it kind of affects the emotion of the person that catches the bouquet, and she feels, okay, this guy's asking me out. So I don't get into trouble. You know, I started look for a young guy and a matchmake. So I've seen a lot of guys doing that right now. They matchmake. You know, some people give credit, some people do not give credit. It's important that when you use something that you've seen from somebody, give the person credit. It's not going to take anything away from you. It's important. It's important. In this part of the world, we take copyright for granted. You know, so it's important that if you have a game, also, if you want to get to that level, you could patent. That's the word. Patent your game. Patent what you're doing. So that when somebody else is using it, it's either beginning to pay you money back. And that's what in developed countries, you use any of their tone, or all these ones. In this part of the world, you can use anybody's soundtrack and nobody will sue you. In the developed country, they will allow you to play. Check the Burna Boy and the American artists. Just because you used a part of a song or something, it's paying very well. Even though it's making money, but she's sitting down enjoying herself. I'm sure you know the story. Google it, you will find out. So I've updated, you know, how to host the wedding in 2024. Very, very important. It is important that you don't take these things for granted. Be on time. Find out the venue of the event. There are some events. I hosted an event recently on 23rd of December. Good sound, but they all had echo. So it was bouncing, it was affecting my voice. You know how you talk and then they were not feeling it. And you know, as MC, beyond the money that they pay us, we want to enjoy ourselves at weddings. We want to enjoy ourselves at the birthdays. So remember that you also brief the bride and the groom who proposes it, who gives the vote of thanks. It's important. You need to ask. With the groom, I know that in this world we say it's always the groom, but if the wife is a better speaker, allow the wife to speak. Don't force it and say he's the man of the house. What if he doesn't want to say anything? What is a very, very reserved person and is his wife? Allow his wife. Don't say, he's a husband and normally talk. No. If it's the wife that wants to say, then probably the man will just say a few words, thank you. And the wife can support. That's why it's called a marriage. Two people coming together. I don't know if I've omitted anything, but I think so far we have the couples dance. We have the couple will have their first dance. You should have found out the song they want to play. Sing, dance to. If it's the band that will play, if it is the DJ that will play, please find out. I hope this video has blessed you, and I really, really appreciate it. Please send the video to somebody and kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is the best you can do. And you want to support, you've enjoyed what we do and you want to support and you want me to do more videos, you can kindly send me a DM also. Let's shoot more videos. You know, everything we do is money, but even at that, you could be a partner. Send me a mail at spiritofsacotv@gmail.com and let's see how we can be a blessing to one another. I'm so excited to tell you about my second book. The fourth book I had is From Crumbs to Riches on how mentorship has changed my life. But this second one came from the place where I'm passionate about young comedians, young compares, entertainers, and I released a simple handbook called The Business Secrets Most Entertainers Won't Tell You. I've been privileged to have some secrets, and all the secrets are in this book. You'll need this book. It has 10 chapters, and you need to get a copy. Why? Because when you read this book, it will make it more effective. This year is a year of personal development where you need to be cubed with information. I was speaking directly to everyone in this book. Okay, you can get a copy and just send a mail to spiritofsacotv@gmail.com, or you can just call on this number and you will get the book. Please order. You have somebody that you're very passionate about in the entertainment industry, you host events in your church. Let's get a copy of this book, and I can assure you that the feedback will be good, because I've taken to my Ogas and they've seen it. If my Ogas can say, Sako, you are doing well, you will also be doing well. I can't wait to hear your feedback. Please, once you get a copy of the book, please send me a mail of your feedback. That will also encourage me to do more. God bless you, and bye for now.